also need to look at setup generally of chin rests and shoulder rests. Everyone's built differently, aren't they? You know, some people have slopey shoulders, some people have long necks, short necks. As a child grows, what they need is going to change. We come from two very different angles here. You're the more of the organic wholemeal version. Show us your version.
I shall show you my shoulder rest.
Yeah.
There is nothing there. I don't use a shoulder rest. I used to, as a student, I used to use all sorts. I've used every type of shoulder rest. But now I don't use anything at all.
She's a purist.
I'm a purist.
Yes. However, I'm more of the UPF version. I like lots and lots of help. I've found over the years I have played without one, and I've also played with one like this Hidersine pad here. To be honest, you could use a kitchen pad or something like that, or something that's a bit more contoured here, like this.
This one's quite good because it's quite firm. Actually, it's it feels it's good support.
But basically, it's filling the gap between the shoulder and the instrument, isn't it? So it's not filling the gap between the collar. It's not filling the gap between the collarbone and the chin. I wish it wasn't called a chin rest, actually.
No,
it's a jaw rest, isn't it? So yeah, if you turn around for us, perhaps we could see.
So
here.
I'm balancing. You can hear balancing the violin on my collarbone there.
And if you turn around for us, we can.
Like a shelf, basically.
If you're going to put something in, it's going to be filling this gap here.
Yeah.
It's not filling the gap down here at the front.
That's right. We're not trying to, because otherwise you don't want to fill this here, because we like to have the violin on the collarbone for sound production as well, because the sound and the vibrations of the violin go down into the collarbone, which helps it. And also, it's like just a parcel shelf. I mean, it works by itself there. You can see it's perfectly balanced, and being lazy. You know.
Yes, and I think I'm more lazy than you, definitely. I think whether you have a shoulder rest or not, though, you're still the same concept, that your violin is sitting on the shelf, isn't it? Yeah. It's not a question of your shoulder pushing it up and wedging it between your chin and your shoulder. I have a huge Bon Musica shoulder rest here, which, although it doesn't look the most stylish, is fantastic for me because it's very, very mouldable. And when I put my violin there, it's there for the day. So if I'm playing hours and hours in orchestra, then it's just not a stressful thing. It just sits there fine. Now, but I have to pair this with a central chin rest. So if I just take off, this is my Strad pad, which is brilliant, by the way. Have a Google of them, they're great. But I have a central chin rest. You see it goes over the over the tailpiece there. And so what happens is when I put my violin on my shoulder there, I keep my head looking straight ahead, and then I just ever so slightly turn my head till it wedges in, and I'm feeling it there on my jaw. This is why I wish it was called a jaw rest, not a chin rest.
Not a chin rest.
Yeah. So there it is, just wedges in, and then I'm fine. And then my neck is nice and straight at the back. My spine is straight. I can look either way. I can turn my head if I need to. I don't feel if I'm clamping down like this at a chin. Yeah, which can be a problem. Not everybody has a central chin rest. You have to work out what's going to fit you. A good example of a side chin rest is this one here. As you can see, it's sitting this side of the tailpiece. But it's really a question of experimenting, isn't it?
It is, and it's different things for different people, isn't it? We're all built differently. Yeah. But a general rule, if it looks relaxed and it looks normal, then it probably is. If it looks tense and a little bit awkward, and what happens is sometimes this shoulder lifts up and actually your head goes this way.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Because you fill the gap and then
everybody tips this way a little bit. So what you want is that this is you standing straight, talking to you, and I put the violin up and I'm the same. It's the same posture. You see that? Straight. My shoulders haven't moved. My head hasn't moved. And I haven't got my chin on the chin rest.
Yeah, wow.
The jaw rest.
Yes, well done, well done. But you can see here, like this Hidersine Maysbury shoulder rest I've got here is it's moulded like that to come down like this. So if you've got a shoulder rest which you can mould, that's really helpful. My Bon Musica is mouldable. Things like the Forte Primo, Willie Wolf's, ones like that. One like this is already moulded for you, so that's great. But it's a question of trying things, to be honest. You know, if you can get into a string shop and actually try different combinations, I think that's really the best way to do it. But when you're starting somebody out young, you may not need anything at all. And if you do need something, it's just really quite a thin pad, really, just to, protect their little bones as they grow. Don't make a big dent in their collarbone.